Hallo Leute. Hi, I'm Sam. Or ich heiße Sam. Und hello Leute, es ist Sam. Okay, yes. I'm learning German. And I've been doing it through Duolingo. And I've been learning a lot. And I have been actually learning the language. And I thought I would help out other people and give you my techniques because they're really working for me. And I think they might really work for you. I don't know what I'm doing. My little baby is here. She's saying hello. I've been learning German on Duolingo for 6 months now, and that is almost every day. I have a streak on Duolingo of 112 days, and that's just the days where I've been making sure I'm doing it every day. And I started doing it before quarantine. I just kept it up during quarantine. So it's not like a thing where I was like, me, I'll do this thing. No, I wanted to learn German because originally I was going to go to Europe, but that got canceled. Guess why? But I also think the language is so fun. When I speak it, I can be loud and just go like that and be super annoying. And as a person who was very quiet and shy growing up, it makes me feel powerful and confident. So after 6 months of doing Duolingo every day, I feel like I can go to Germany and get around and ask questions and basically communicate everything that is essential for me to communicate. I couldn't have everyday conversations. I couldn't talk like I am now, but I could ask, where are the bathrooms? Call 911 or whatever the number is there. Call the ambulance. I could say, my room doesn't have any towels. I could say all of that. I could say, I'm a vegetarian. Please bring me food that has no meat in it. So I just want to start, before I started learning German, I know English. I'm fluent in English. Can you tell? Imagine if I just memorized this whole thing and I actually didn't speak English at all. Fun. I can speak cat, meow meow meow. Just kidding. And I grew up speaking French, so I know French and I'm fluent in French, even though my grammar kind of sucks now, but I can still understand it all and speak it all. So I went in knowing those two languages. Knowing French, I had the base of, I understood kind of how feminine and masculine works. In German, there's 3 genders, let's say, feminine, masculine, and neutral. So that going in, I was like, okay, I kind of understand when we're using feminine, masculine, but why neutral? We're lucky in English, we only have neutral, but German is very different from the languages I know. Sometimes words come out of nowhere and make no sense at all. You know, with a lot, English and French, you can maybe be like, oh, that's clearly comes from Latin or something. In German, it's just like, and it makes no sense. But that's the fun of it, right? We're doing this because it's fun and to help our brains, give them good things to do, keep them off the streets, keep them out of gangs, and make them not do drugs. I'm gonna break down kind of what I do in a German lesson. So the first thing that I do is I always do it on my desktop computer. Duolingo on the phone or iPad app has hearts, and if you get something wrong, you lose a heart, so you have 5 hearts. On the computer, it doesn't do that. After you use 5 hearts, you can't learn anymore, and I think that's kind of counterproductive. So I always do it on my computer because they don't have that heart system for some reason. Before I even get into any of that, I open up 3 tabs. I open up Duolingo. I open up a Google document of notes that I've taken from Duolingo for the past 6 months. And I'll get more into that later. And then I open up Google Translate because sometimes you really want to understand a word and where it comes from. So I'll type it in to get all the definitions of it. Duolingo sometimes only gives you 1 definition or 2 definitions of something. I like having the full definition and knowing if it's a noun, if it's masculine, feminine, or neutral. So I always have Google Translate more as to use as a reference. And every day I start with a practice. So you can do a little practice if you do it on the desktop Duolingo. There's a little round button in the corner with a weight. So I like to start with that. It'll just give you exercises of words you've already learned. And to me, it's kind of like a stretch before a workout. You're just getting your mind into the space, and it might be super easy. You might be thrown words and you're like, oh yeah, I remember learning that. I don't remember what it means. So at that point, I'll open up my Google Doc if I get a word like Anzug. der Anzug. If I see that in a sentence and I'm like, I cannot for the life of me remember what that means, I will throw it in this doc of vocabulary. So Anzug means a suit that you wear. And this might look complicated, but ultimately it's, I have it separated into nouns, verbs, adjectives, and so on, and then prepositions, pronouns, and then another category, which I have like the seasons. On the right, I do like a little thing of per day. So like this day, I learned this word and I need to put a specialization. I need to really focus on this word today. So I have this huge document full of words. I don't even know how many words, hundreds. But I'll do like specific ones for the week of like, okay, so let's just focus on these ones for the week so I'm not overwhelmed. Okay, so then after that, I will start a lesson. And before I get into that, no matter what, even if I'm on level 4, I'll go and I'll look at the tips. So if you click on it, 2 buttons, start or tips. I always go to tips. You guys, always read the tips before you start the lesson. People just don't and they just go into it, but I always do it because you need to understand what you're getting into here. And there's little hints and clues. So if I go into one, it might say like, just so you know, these 2 words are interchangeable. So it might just have a little thing like that. If it has a chart, for example, nominative adjectives, I copy and paste that chart into my Google Doc. And I always now, forevermore, have it as a reference. And I use that, it's probably the one I use most, is the nominative adjectives. I still cannot memorize those. You guys, if I go back and I do a practice and I'm like, what is this again? I don't remember learning this. I'll type it in my Finder, Control F, and I'll be like, oh, what's the genitive case? Genitive case. And then it'll be like there. Oh, okay. Cool. Okay, so I do my level of my new lesson of what I haven't learned yet. And I usually, like I was saying before, if I don't recognize a word, I'll put it in the Google Doc. But I don't do it for the new lesson because I'm learning. I really just try to be present and read things and understand things and let them go through me and just absorb the knowledge. And that's kind of how I do it. It's stuff you're seeing for the first time. So don't put pressure on yourself to be like, I need to memorize everything right now. Just try to understand it when it's there in front of you. That's what I do. But also, I think the most important thing that I will say now is to figure out a system for yourself. If you do want to write down those new words you just learned, do it. I'm not your mom. After that, I will go back to another lesson in the past that I've done before, and I'll do the next level of it. And I could do like 3 of these or something, depending on how much time I have. Girl, this girl is busy. There's different colors for different levels. So blue is if you haven't done it, green is if you've done it once, red is if you've done it twice. So if it's like green, I'll try to go back and make all of that section red. It's always important to go back and review what you've already done, or else you're gonna forget it. And you might know all the words that mean download and keyboard and internet, but you won't know the word for I eat cake. Ich esse Kuchen. Whatever. And then after that, they have stories. So there'll be like easy stories in German with, you can hover over a word if you don't understand. I'll give you the explanation. There's little questions inside that'll be like, what does this mean? What does he mean when he says this? So I always go back and I do those, and I just have fun with them. I don't take too many notes, or sometimes I don't even take any notes freaking at all, okay? Because I just want to enjoy the story. And you'll notice as I go further and further, I'm like, actually just reading the story and I understand it. It makes me feel so good. I know the language because I worked hard and I did it myself. Yeah, so that's basically what I do in Duolingo specifically. Yeah, so after that, after I do my little thing on Duolingo, I go and I take the words in my vocabulary that I learned from Duolingo and I make flashcards. Because why not? A really good website I use is called Brainscape.com, and you can make your own flashcards, set them up, practice, and then it's cool because it has different levels. So if you're like, okay, I don't know this word at all, it'll reveal it and it'll be like, how well did you know this word? And you could be like, 1, I barely knew it, or you could be like, 5, I got it right away. so then it'll come back again. So through repetition, you'll learn it eventually. Yeah, so Brainscape has other people's flashcards as well. So I've just gone and searched German vocabulary and found other people's decks and gone through them. Another big resource I use a lot is Easy German on YouTube. It's a YouTube channel right here on YouTube. And they just go to the streets and they ask people general things in the language. You know, what do you like to eat for breakfast? And I love it. It has a transcription as well as a translation underneath in English. And I love it a lot. They also have different channels of the same company in different languages. So they'll have like Easy French, Easy Greek, Easy Russian, and so on and so forth. Also, I have a whiteboard. And if you have a whiteboard or anywhere to do this at all, I like to do my own word of the day in the language. So it could be something that's relevant to the day, or it could be just a word that I'm struggling to memorize. And I'll write it on the board in German, and just for a little extra fun, because I'm crazy like that, I write it in Russian and also Japanese. Because why not? Let's all have fun and learn things together and have kids. What? Okay. Okay, and the final resource I use beyond Duolingo is TV shows. I love it. It's a good way to get really into the space and hear conversational German. So there's 2 shows I watch in German right now, and they're both on Netflix, which is so great. The first one is called How to Sell Drugs Online. And a lot of German shows are very dark and sad and depressing or scary or whatever. This one is like the lightest one I could find. It's a teen dramedy about selling drugs. And it's cool. They do talk very, very fast, but I use English subtitles. And I find there's definitely more conversational stuff. So they'll say like reden. I learned that people will say like to chat, reden, as opposed to like sprechen, which I guess is more like speaking. And they'll say like keine Ahnung, which means no idea. The other show I watch is Dark, which is just a straight up good show. Even if you're not learning a new language, just watch it. It's so freaking good. But I think I'm learning more through watching that than How to Sell Drugs Online. I think they just talk slower. I think that's the secret, is they talk slower. I even learned some new words there, like holen, which means caves. If you watch the show, you'll know why they say caves so much. So yeah, that's how I'm learning German. Cool. I hope this was helpful. I hope maybe you picked up even at least one tip here and are using it. And if you have any tips for me to help, whether it's like another YouTube channel or a TV show, or just like, hey, have you tried doing this on Duolingo? Please let me know, because I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best here. Can I have some more? Can I have some more learning? I don't know, guys, what? Also, if you like this, please let me know. I can do more stuff like this with more tips and tricks, or I can just talk about my experience learning a new language in my adulthood years, or I can talk about French, or how I tried to learn Japanese, or Russian. Yeah, so please, okay, I don't like doing this part, but I'm gonna do it sarcastically so that I can just get it out, okay? Please like this video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below, and subscribe. Okay, so that was sarcastic, but the sentiment was real. Please do those things. Okay, cool. Thanks. Danke. Tschüss. I'm sweating. This is so exciting to me that I'm talking about this because I love it. And my little baby kitten is sleeping right there. I love you.